Now you're talking to an expert. I owe my success to the fine art of the insult.
Now who's the biggest threat? Fuck it, none of you kids getting respect. I'm pulling all your cards, so y'all better be hitting the deck. On a Friday afternoon, I am D.respect. This is the DdotPodcast. How the fuck are you guys doing out there? It's been a very interesting week, so what do you say we just jump right into it? First thing I'd like to discuss is I got a Twitter message from someone, or rather a tweet from someone about a week ago, and the tweet was rather a retweet from someone else, and it was a video by DJ Khaled, and I'm going to try to get this young man's name. His name is John Eccles, I guess is how, sorry, John, I can't read, I can't pronounce your last name. So John sends me this video via Twitter, and it's titled, DJ Khaled Needs to Be Stopped, which, just the title of it is just fucking hilarious because I knew what it was delving into before I even clicked the video. So in this video, it's a lot of the familiar things that DJ Khaled does that makes us all cringe, which is, for example, like in the Hold You Down video, in the intro of the video, rather, when he was in front of his mansion with the girl, he gets out of the car and he tells her she's smart. You know, I'll do my DJ Khaled impersonation. I'll say, you smart. And I got my fucking finger all up in her fucking face. You smart. So the next scene is DJ Khaled brings her into his living room or his diner, and he's smoking hookah. And in the middle of the hookah session, he goes, you smart. Say my name. And then she says DJ Khaled, and it's very poorly acted. It's not authentic at all. It doesn't seem like there's any relation between these two other than she was a hired actress or some fucking Instagram model or whatever the fuck. It just seems totally disconnected. So, then DJ Khaled takes out the money and he says, buy your mother a house, do all these things, come back for more. So the Twitter video that was sent to me was more the same. It was DJ Khaled laid up on his car. He pulls up next to a group of prostitutes. That's what they look like. And he tells the girl, who's your inspiration? That's just how he says, who's your inspiration? And she goes, DJ Khaled, and he kisses her several times. And I think I've gotten to the core of what pisses people off the most. And before I get to that core, I just want to say that DJ Khaled gets a bad rap. I said it. I'm totally serious with this, but just allow me to humor you. Allow me to humor you because I know I just got a collective sigh from all of you. Okay? DJ Khaled gets a bad rap because I think he represents something within the intro of these videos. I think he represents what the vision of the surface level, rather, of what a man is supposed to be. Okay? On the surface level, if you define what a man is, the very first two things that'll come out of most people's mouths is what? It'll be, he's a protector, right? That's one P. And what's the second P? See if you can guess it. What is it? No, that's not the fucking P. You're a pervert. No, it's a provider, okay? A protector and a provider. Those are the two P's that normally come up when you try to describe, what should a man do? What's a man's role? You see, the problem is DJ Khaled's persona doesn't extend any further than that. It's all about being a protector and a provider, but it's mostly about being emotionally unavailable and totally disconnected to the situation because I am this protector and this provider. And I think he's fixated on those two P's, which is fine. And that's why I think he gets a bad rap. He gets a bad rap because I guess from his perspective, he just says, well, what more should I do? I'm in front of this camera with this beautiful woman. I've got a bag full of money. I'm this great, successful DJ. I get to travel the world. How else am I supposed to convey what a man is than giving her, some form of gratitude, by saying you're smart. I guess that's where his emotions come in. He just points at a woman and says you're smart. He doesn't elaborate on it. He just fucking says you're smart. He doesn't explain this in the Hold You Down video. Okay? DJ Khaled does not explain why this girl is smart. But I guess anybody from the outside looking in can probably guess she's smart because she's pimping him somehow, because she's getting things in exchange for sex, which isn't too hard for her to do because she had no father figure in her life anyway. No, I'm just being an asshole. But I think that's what it is. I think it's because he is this picture of what a man is supposed to be, at least on a surface level. Now, what bothers us is, and I think what bothers people with most artists that we consider to be tasteless, with most artists that we consider to be vapid, it's that there's no connection. There's no attempt to reach out, put your hand through the net, like Vince Carter. You see what I'm doing there? Put your hand through the net like Vince Carter. Some of you probably won't get that reference. It's okay. There's no attempt to reach out into the audience and to engage you. It's not done with Khaled. It's not done with Young Thug. It's not done with Wayne. It's not done with Ross. Though we're speaking about Khaled and what he does in the intro of these videos, it speaks a lot to what annoys people about that whole lifestyle and just the feel about it, is that you're not invited into that room with DJ Khaled. And I don't mean that you want to sit next to DJ Khaled and that beautiful young lady. There's no stake in it for you. DJ Khaled isn't a likable personality. In fact, if you would think of having a conversation with DJ Khaled, you could probably figure that he'd be dismissive, he'd be condescending, and if he had something to say to you, he'd probably say, like, you're an asshole, just like he tells the girl, you're smart. I think if most of you remember that argument that he had with Cypher Sounds of Hot 97 when he kept pointing at him and saying, you're a liar. That's how DJ Khaled addresses people. He just fucking points at you, but he doesn't elaborate. But I think that's what bothers people. I think what bothers people is that we're not in that situation. We're not asked. We're not welcomed into that situation. And it's partly because it's so awkwardly done. It's so awkwardly performed by Khaled and these women who are, obviously they're not actresses, and Khaled isn't an actor himself. He's just some asshole with a bag of money that's just standing there and is just pointing at a woman and saying that she's smart. So I guess it not only goes into just the lifestyle is sort of just worthless and it's disconnected. I guess if it was performed better in the videos, people wouldn't hate Khaled as much. I don't think so. I mean, I think DJs, obviously get shitted on a lot, especially when you're a DJ like Khaled who likes to, just yell all over your cuts. People are going to hate you just for that. But if you follow it up with that, with sort of that dick-headed, douchey persona, they'll hate you all the more. But I think DJ Khaled gets a very bad rap. And I will fight for DJ Khaled. I am the defender of all things Khaled. Like it or not, I'm here to defend them. We'll be right the fuck back.
Yeah. Nutigalo. Yo. We go off, say who go off, nigga we go off. Flow fitted to a T, dog, I might go golf. On stage in all black, dog, I might go golf. Say I might go floss, cause we go hard. I mean macro hard, not Microsoft. Party time excellent, nigga, I might go golf. Cause we go off, I said we go, yo, hold up. Niggas looking like fools, punching out of they weight class. Looking like food under pressure, they break fast. It's looking like school and I'm the invincible principal. Joe Clark and you niggas sign in, get a late pass. Yeah, nigga, I go boss, cause once the buzzer go off, don't nobody give a fuck what you ranked as. It's only wins and losses, Benz and Porsches. So pardon if I offend any friends or sources that never seen the hunger, no meager portions. Starvation, bar none like Klondike. They saying Fontaine the incarnation of verbal murder. Pin it on me like prom night, nigga, cause I go off. Yeah, I go off. Negro spiritual rap, slave to the rhythm, looking like I might go north. Cause I go off. Yeah, I go, yo, hold up.
Pharaoh the God strikes the mic hard like tack cards with a bat. Physicist, the antithesis of Steve Jobs when he raps. Mac, sick gonorrhea, clap, onomatopoeia. Smack the shit out of you, you have no idea. Send a stranger to rearrange your Range Rover, Kia, PSC, and be a satellite with money longer than years. Fuck chivalry, I will end the chick's career and return to forever. I am Chick Korea. At O'Hare Air with surface to air missiles for your layers. What you will hear before I send you to visit a lair. See, caution, he strikes with force, and the course is the boss of sorcery with a cross to bear and a portion enforcing the nuclear laws of North Korea. So awesome, when we morphin', Pharaoh Tigolo, we go off, yes, yes, y'all.
We go off, say who go off, nigga, we go off. Flow fitted to a T, dog, I might go golf. On stage in all black, dog, I might go golf. Yeah, we go floss, we go so hard, I mean macro hard, never Microsoft. Stomach and the titties out, baby girl, go Ross, cause we go off. Yeah, we go off, yeah.
The DdotPodcast, we're back. I got some negative comments from the Jay-Z video that I did about 2 days ago, which is expected. Every time when I make a video, I expect people to not agree with what I say. It's just the nature of the game. Who cares? But I just want to cover up some things. Maybe some things that maybe I didn't make quite clear on the video that people are misunderstanding. The first of which is your inability, and I'm pointing at you, your inability to understand when someone is talking down to you. Someone is talking down to you when they feel like they're entitled to your support. Someone is talking down to you when they make comments about the things that you would rather spend your money on rather than said person's product. You're being talked down to. Listen, I understand the concept of being a fan. I understand the concept of supporting someone and following someone through that journey during their ups and their downs. But don't you for 1 second confuse disagreeing with someone with not supporting them. The man that is speaking on the mic right now has fucked with Jay-Z so heavy throughout my teenage years and now in my adult years. Been a huge supporter of Jay. But, just like most things, you disagree with people. You just always don't see eye to eye. And this situation is no different. Again, you are being spoken down to. Let's use this as an example. Let's say that I come up on YouTube and I say, I'm upset at the amount of viewership that I get. I'm upset at the fact that a number of you don't watch my videos, but on the other hand, you really like to watch Epic Mealtime, right? You like to spend your time watching that. You love to watch Man Awesome. I think that's the name of the channel. Well, popular channel. You understand what I mean? Because obviously what I'm getting through to you is that I feel like you owe me those views. You better watch my content. And if you don't, I'm going to point at you just like DJ Khaled points at fucking stupid Instagram models, except I'm not going to tell you you're smart. I'm going to tell you that you're wasting your time by watching that other content. Just like Jay-Z tells you, you would rather spend money on Phil Knight and, he's rich. The race aspect of it is, it's a tactic that people have used long ago. All right? It's a tactic of no one wants to see a black man get rich. Really? No one wants to see a black man get rich? Have you ever gone to StubHub? Have you ever visited Ticketmaster.com and typed up Jay-Z concert? Do you have any idea how expensive those tickets are? Do you understand that those shows are always sold out? What more does a person want or need? One of the things that I said in the video was, if this is all about Jay wanting to send some motivational idea out into the world to us minorities, you're putting too much stake in what you do, and you're taking yourself way too seriously if you seriously feel that on one end, you will bring so much benefit to the world if you can show this example, but you're still willing to shit on the people who you're going to set the example for. Then it's cutting, it's kind of like, what's that saying? You're cutting your nose off just to spite your face. I believe that's how the saying goes. Because you're shitting on us, even though you want us to see something. Well, you don't really give a shit about us. It's just about you. That's what this is about. This is about you. I don't agree with it. I think that, personally, if you spent your whole life being a capitalist and understanding the idea that product is first, and if you provide a great product for the people, for the market, whatever the fuck lingo you want to use, you're going to win. You're going to win. You will beat your competitors, or if not, it doesn't always have to be a monopoly. It can just, you will be a strong competitor within that industry. And you've understood that by getting your own stream service. You've understood that by saying, you know what? Spotify is the big fish here, and we can't let them have too much control of the pie, because who knows? It's a slippery slope, and then it'll become a monopoly, and who knows, if artists will ever get to see the fruits of their labor 10, 20 years from now. I can understand that. So let's make our streaming service just to balance everything out. But if it's not working, okay? If it's not working, and obviously you are on stage and you're complaining. You are complaining. You're standing on stage and you're listing off a few things and you're drawing conclusions yourself. I'm simply making a video reacting to your conclusion and drawing my own conclusion. I'm not saying that title is a failure and he should stop. I'm saying that shit obviously needs to be reassessed. When most people can agree and say, I really wouldn't want to pay $20 a month just for great music quality, no real skin in the game for me. It's not worth it. And why would I pay $10 a month when I pay $10 a month on Spotify, which has been a proven streaming service? Well, you're going to come over to this side because Madonna's here, because Jack White's here, because Nicki Minaj is here, and we're all so fucking great. So why don't you switch over to the title side? You got to create incentive for people. You just can't assume that you're this all great and all-knowing artist and businessman and everything's just going to go your way. And then when it doesn't, this is because it's not back in the days, right? You know that, right? It doesn't work that way. So you can't be a capitalist your whole life, and then when shit doesn't go your way, you turn into some activist. And now you're going to speak about the ills of the world. When your pockets have been compromised, now this is, I'm going to get up on stage and I'm going to be vocal about things. It's just like, stop, man. Why are we so afraid to say that we failed at stuff? Why is that such a bad thing? Why is it such a bad thing to say, you know what? Bad idea. But if I kind of go at it from this angle, maybe this will work. I work retail, okay? I work for a nutritional company, and there's one product, a fat-burning product, that hit the store about 8 months ago, and it's been selling very well. Now, at the beginning, the way they would package this fat burner was it would come in a glass case, okay? Now, I would imagine that glass costs more than plastic. I'm no expert on distribution or manufacturing of materials or anything, or what's more cost effective than what, but I'm pretty sure that making glass, there'll be more labor into that than making plastic. So this company, what I noticed that they did after about a month or two was they started making them plastic. They weren't glass anymore. Maybe their sales weren't what they projected. Maybe distribution was costing them too much. Maybe they had too many broken bottles when they were being transported to stores. Who knows what the fuck it is, but it's an admission of failure. It's an admission of failure. It's saying, let's rethink this and let's change the product. Now, I do expect Tidal to do something in the future. I don't know if Jay-Z's concert was a step in that direction, but I don't really think it is, because all I heard was the big woo-ha about it was going to be things like this, the exclusivity of everything. It was going to be the concerts. It was going to be the albums. If I'm not mistaken, I think Daft Punk has like a movie that you can only see on Tidal. That was the whole thing. So I don't even think that this is a step in that new direction, but I know that eventually they're going to do something different. I'm pretty sure that they are. Jay-Z's a very intelligent man, and I'm sure there's other people. I'm sure there's a think tank at Tidal, made up of people that we will never see ever, but they're smart people and they will figure it out. But the only thing that I'm trying to say is that you got to admit it sometimes. You just have to don't go on stage and whine, especially when 9 times out of 10 you win, man. You win. What's the problem here? What is the fucking problem? It's when you try to save the world. That's the issue. When you try to save the world, you take yourself just a little too fucking seriously, because now you feel that mankind itself depends on your successes and your failures, and you're looking at it totally the wrong way. Completely the wrong way. Again, I'm not telling Tidal to stop. I'm not saying don't download Tidal. I don't care about any of that, okay? I think I saw a comment from somebody that was actually pretty funny. Somebody said, this message was brought to you by Spotify. I thought that was funny. Shit, if Spotify was paying me to make videos, that would be a sweet deal. But that's not happening, guy on the internet. I'm not suggesting that Tidal just stops altogether. And I know it's been a month. But remember, I'm only reacting to Jay-Z jumping on stage, huffing and puffing. That's all I'm doing. That video would never be made had he not done that. The conclusions that I jumped to would never be made had he not jumped to conclusions himself. Relax.
Every time that I wake up, I swear I'm never down. Even when I'm in my dreams, I'm high up self-esteem. Blowing on that Jamaica, my niggas not a team. Marijuana fiend. Keep your blacker mouths and cigs, me no nicotine. I keep my pimpin' mean. Me and Musa as we pulled up on them sixes just to go and bust some bitches. See the motherfucking wheel, sex appeal. And if I'm in the backseat with them tents that Glock conceal, they eye us as we peel like the Orange hat that I be styling in, like a Zanny or a colada pin. All your swishers, they be model thin. We plus size, nigga, like Takara Nim, shining like a halogen. So bright, like high beams, headlights of midnight at one of Rhode Island's watchtower sites. Yeah, the world is all I need. But if you don't know anything, just know I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. You don't know anything? No, I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. Ain't got no money, man, but bet I got some weed. Hey, who got some weed? 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 Let's go chill up on my balcony and feel the breeze. Open up a Corona and see who got some weed. If we don't have no trees, then let's gather up the fees. $100, that's a seventh of the sour D. Make a order, it'll be here according to 3. Smoke it till we uneat. Then we fill up again with another 10. Then we just go run back to the cheese. Fulfill our family needs, no worries. Smoke one for our G's that ran with a strike of 3s. We dying up in every plea. So for y'all, my niggas, swear to God, my heart'll bleed. Kick the shit from my lifers and ones who pick and see. Even if it's just $5, keep your brain on free. Elevate your mind, cause in due time you'll wine and dine. Something fine, and that Kush blunt soon be your Valentine. And my shit be Columbine. My fans is all I need. But if you don't know anything, just know I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. You don't know anything? Know I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. Bet I got some weed. Ain't got no money, man, but bet I got some weed. Who got some weed? Her, she got some weed. Him, he got some weed. My aunt, she got some weed. My uncle, he got some weed. My mom, she got some weed. My aunt, he got some weed. My homie, my nigga Tiny Deuce, he got some weed. What up to my nigga Big Spank?
All right, enough of that. You're listening to the D.Podcast, and I am D.Respect. I gotta say that, or I gotta ask rather, when was the last quality beef you guys heard? I can't remember the last quality hip hop beef. Think about that one for a while. Maybe in the comment section, you let me know what was the last quality beef that you remember, because there hasn't been anyone in recent history that I can remember right now. And no, Young Thug versus Lil Wayne is not a credible beef. It's not on wax, and it needs to be. And it's not, and I'm really upset about that. Because that one has the potential to, actually stir up some fuckery, which would be amusing to watch, if nothing else. Wouldn't be impressive on either side lyrically, but it would be impressive nonetheless. The fact that so many people have so much to lose, I think, is the biggest contributing factor in the fact that you don't really see beefs that frequently anymore. It's also a bigger industry, so everyone can eat. No one has to fight for a block. No one has to fight for an audience member, a fan. Because people can now listen to multiple people, be fans of multiple artists, and support them simultaneously. But I think the two main factors are the fact that it's such a successful genre, and I think there's also a misinterpretation of positivity. I think all across the board, just people in general have this weird thought of what they think a positive person is, or a positive artist. People normally think of positivity as someone who just smiles all day, every day. And they haven't got a care in the world, and they have no terrible things to say about anyone. You see, that's just an addiction right there. Hip hop is just going through a addiction of positivity. And anything that derails it outside of what they think being positive and making good music or just sticking to good music, when it's ever taken off track, everyone starts to complain. The minute there's a Twitter war, the minute somebody says something about anyone at a concert, there go people, jumping on and saying, why can't we just, be the... You can't take an art form so... This goes back to the Jay-Z thing. You can't take something so seriously where you feel like the betterment of mankind depends on it. Or rather, the betterment of blacks, of Latinos, of just people living in urban areas. It depends on a music genre. If it does, then we're bound to be doomed. You ever see a fat person wear a sweater and you see the buttons are just holding on for dear life? That's what we are. Because we create that issue. We create that issue anytime there's any bit of conflict between anyone. And my guess is, since it's such a successful industry, that artists are pretty much going to stick with what their fans want them to do. And they don't want to jump outside that image. That's why I give somebody like Drake a whole lot of credit. Whether this battling business of Drake possibly battling Murder Mook, whether that's real, I like the idea that he throws his hat in the ring. I like that. Because he stands to lose so fucking much. But he's still willing to throw his hat into the ring. And I don't know how much of his 10 million Twitter followers, whatever he has, or an Instagram, how many people that are, just basically love him for all his commercial hits, and maybe they don't know him for, too many of his secondary songs or delve too much into his albums. I want to know how much of those people, of that bracket of Drake fan, knows how steeped Drake is into the underground battle world. I wonder about that. But as I said, I give him a lot of credit for it. And artists these days tend to stay away from it because it's probably a bad PR move. Which is sad, because it's turned into such a business where the very core of it, which was competitively driven, that was everything. That's how it started. Was this guy saying that he's better than you, and then maybe you come into his hood and you fucking ripping him to pieces verbally. Because we tend to forget that it doesn't always lead to violence. Things can just stay lyrical. I'd love to see beefs between multiple people. Obviously, this is something that Kendrick sort of stirred up with his Control verse. And, nothing really happened. People just took sporty jabs at him. Everybody, outside of Papoose, who just sounded bitter. I'd like to see a beef like that. And at some point, I'd love to see Kendrick seriously beef with someone. Sort of the way that you had Jay-Z and Nas go at each other for the simple fact that we've got to decide who's the Don here. We got to decide who's the alpha and who's the beta bitch. You hear me? Guy in Queens, we got to have a talk. At some point, that has to happen. I think that's like going into combat in rap, I think, is the graduation stage. Yeah, you can put out great albums. Yeah, you can be thought-provoking. You can have commercial hits. And you can do that consistently. But I honestly think until you take a firm stance against another creditable MC, your legendary status hangs in the balance. It's like you haven't been battle tested. And, no, I'm not saying that your whole fucking career is null and void because you haven't had a credible battle with someone. But I am saying that when you're battle tested, when you go at somebody, they go at you, and it's a good exchange, there's something to be said about that. That puts you on another level. Because when you're on a record and you're throwing these imaginary jabs, I'm shadowboxing right now, these imaginary jabs at these imaginary opponents, that's all you're doing. You're shadowboxing. But when we can compare how you react to someone else who just happens to be shadowboxing, but in your direction, and now they're connecting with fucking blows to the face, now you guys aren't shadowboxing anymore. You're battling. And now we can really gauge just how nice you are when someone isn't speaking in vague terms to you. They're talking about you directly, and you've got to stand up for yourself. And when I think back of the beefs that I really loved, one of my favorite beefs of all time was Beanie Siegel against Jadakiss. If I could think of a beef that was so evenly matched all across the board, and still to this day, say when I listen to Jada's Animal verse, no, sorry, that's Jada against 50. When I listen to Beanie's Put Your Hands Up verse, or to listen to Jada going at Beanie, I'm not quite sure who had it. And I love that. I love that it's always just going to be something that infinitely you're always going to chew on it. And you can always have a conversation with somebody at a party and say, I think he had it. I think he had it for this reason. And I wish something like that would happen today. I don't know who the artists are. I don't have an artist in mind. I mean, I mentioned Kendrick Lamar because, he's obviously the most respected guy right now. But there's a variety of people that I think would make for very, very interesting beefs. And you could hear them so often. You could hear them so quickly now. And the response time is, like that. For example, Joe Budden is somebody to me that I give a lot of credit to as well, because when Joe Budden goes into beefs, he comes up with responses in a matter of days. I think if there were beef between artists, you'd probably have to wait for the album, and there'd be like some whole big promotion behind it, some sort of fuckery like that, which would be terrible. But the positivity is something that we just don't quite understand. We think we're being so positive, but we're not being positive. We're just being scared of being negative. We're trying not to lose. We're trying not to get upset. We're trying not to get put off by this artist, as opposed to loving this artist, and appreciating them through their journey. If they just so happen to battle someone, it happens. There's got to be some sort of a connection. And look, guys, I'm going off the deep end here. Just follow me. I think there's got to be some connection between the stake that people put into hip hop and with the community. With the community of people, the fact that you have colored people that you see on TV, that they've gotten out of bad situations in their life, and they've helped their family, they've enhanced the life of others. There's such a big connection there. And to these people, these disenfranchised people who live in these neighborhoods that are trying to, not necessarily get out, but just improve the quality of their life. So when they see these artists have to represent an idea, kind of, which I think is a bad thing. If you idolize an artist, you're doing a disservice to the artist, and you're doing a disservice to yourself. Because once you've encapsulated Kendrick Lamar, I'll use him as an example again, when you've encapsulated Kendrick Lamar as the guy who made I, and the guy who preached so much positivity and had so many profound things to say, once you start to encapsulate him as that's the only thing that he's capable of, then that's when the relationship between you and Kendrick Lamar just becomes just all about you. It doesn't become about the love for the artist. It becomes about the artist maintaining the image that you have about them. And that's what can get fucked up as well. It's just so much put into hip hop. You know, I think that's the general theme of this podcast, because again, I'm thinking about the Jay-Z and the title situation, of the fact that he's taking it so seriously. It's such a serious thrust and such a big movement, and this is so serious. And it's because we're putting too much responsibility on the music. If the music is such a big part of what's going to hold us together, and it's like a game of Jenga where we're just carefully pulling the pieces out as we go along, and we're so scared for the whole fucking thing to collapse, then we're fucking living on a house of cards. And it's not sustainable. And yes, this whole thing was about beef, but it all comes together. It's we're putting too much stake in all of this. Everything has to remain so positive. The A$AP Rocky's got a fucking... I'd be shocked if A$AP Rocky's not best friends with fucking French Montana. They've got to get along. They got to fucking get along because they're a part of movements. They're making moves. They're being positive. They're doing... It's a bunch of shit, okay? We got to remember that these people are providing entertainment. That's what they're doing. And yes, there's another side of this of they're responsible for the lives of many people who, of course, have gotten out of prison, and they don't know how to respond to things. They don't know how to respond to something other than in a violent nature. So say if A$AP Rocky does go at French Montana, maybe French Montana has somebody in his camp who just doesn't know any better, and he sees A$AP Rocky, and all of a sudden you get a video on World Star of A$AP Rocky getting a chair thrown at him by one of French Montana's people. I get that. But if everything is kept on wax and nothing is too personal, then it's just all skill. It's all art form. And I guess it's got to be done with the right artists, the people who understand that, hey, we're just going at each other. Not necessarily going to make it so bitter and so personal like Jay and Nas, but we're going to come at each other. I'm going to spit 16 at you, and I'm going to come for your fucking head. And I'm going to prove that I'm battle tested. How do you like that?
Tennessee, California, endlessly, right on, right on, right on, right on.
Laid back villain on a smooth tip. All things gravy, greatest fear to let the groove slip. Always tell the masses that it's never gonna stop, cause you never gonna do shit. Magnified gestures over long lost blues riffs. Mop up, sop up the tears for fears with a Q-tip, and proceeds to poke out their eyes with a toothpick. Remember when Lorenz Tavy Terrence with the pool stick? A wind came, pistol whip Chauncey and that fool snitch. Sent to take the bill, Duke would've went to jail if he wouldn't have got killed in that drive-by by the duty kid. Cause he was like, it ain't mine, and she was like, you the only guy that I do it with. Remember when Pac and Q started fighting over Steel House? They broke a vase, still screamed. Raheem told him to chill out. That Jerry Curl blood, that Bunk Ricky eating chips. The same guy they was looking for when Ice Cube stopped to let Cube out the whip. And when it's sad how Loco had the habit. And when it funny when they caught T-Bone dancing with that rabbit, didn't Rocket have the same gun that old man shot OG Bobby Johnson's son in the back with? Or do I got it backwards? And Bobby Johnson was the one that put his fist up to the glass, and Kane put his fist up and dapped it. Chicago and Regina had sex inside the mail truck. They left his ass. He reached down to get his hair brushed, and Trey Lot the Furious sitting down getting his hair cut. Yeah, do you remember these? Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese, huh? Do you remember these? Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese. Kane told him as he jacked him at the drive-thru, $100 you tell who ride a mask, put the knife to another 100 for the cop who chased New Jersey drive crew. The group who took Ricky Ball, Crip, or Pyro. Kicked old boy, told him he could buy 100 balls. Little Bobby used his bed to iron out his overalls. Who knew in the feud he would had a gun aiming? Kane ahead of niggas dating, skating on his Mustang. Remember when the whole crowd stopped and got tense? Then they cheered when Steele put his hand up on the fence. And when G Money first got mad to the cocaine, and Chris Tucker OD there watching Soul Train. Cameron shot him in the con, took his gold chain. Nino was free till he met up with that old man. Ice-T was there and he oversaw the whole thing. Mello lost his legs just to get up out the dope game. Why he throw his gun into the river though? Just to hit the roof to get the juice and let Bishop go. Show Hodges love, but the Pac-Man day came, especially after sprayed the little essay with the spray paint. Remember when Bobby took off his tear? And when Dope Boy disappeared after his brother died and he said nobody cared? I still do, after all these years. Because he should've played ball. Ricky ain't deserved none of that at all. These are just an illustration of a few scenes to help raise a generation. Yeah. Do you remember these? Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese, huh? Do you remember these? Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese. Double burger with cheese.
Turn that motherfucking shit down. What the fuck you want from me?
Guys, I appreciate you for listening to the podcast. Yet again, this is the only podcast that doesn't require a fucking brain cell whatsoever. I want to thank you also because we've just gotten up to 20,000 subscribers. And I mentioned this at the end of the podcast because it's not really much of a big deal. It's just a number. What really matters to me are, the small amount of you that fuck with me week in, week out, no matter what. And it means the world to me. Trust me. But this is the D.Dot Podcast. I am D.Respect, and I'll see you guys next time.